Take two. Good morning, gentlemen. This is Jim Downs at Bonneville Rehab Ranch, and we are in Fort Collins,
Colorado.
Fort Collins, Colorado. And Joe, you made it this far. We stayed last night and fixed some things that, small things, you know. Sorry. There's Mark over there with Foster Grants. Jason's holding it together. I know you saw pictures of him laying under the motorhome on the side, changing the filters out.
Yeah, lots of filter changes.
Yeah, tell me, explain what's going on with that.
Well, with the filter situation, it's still running the original dual tanks, and there's a lot of crud in the tanks, but running the fuel tech or FI-Tech fuel injection off of that. And so there was a restriction with the fuel sock, we believe. We actually had to backflow to clear that because
we did it with the air compressor, took the line off the airbag, pushed that thing in there, and boom, blew it off.
Yeah, may have made a little fuel geyser.
Yeah, that was exciting.
5 gallons back to the
yeah, well, you were taking care of that, Mark. You were handling that. We had
but ran much better after that, but did start clogging the filter. We have a little glass filter that we were picked up from an AutoZone or something. And so
it's cleanable. It's a cleanable
it's a serviceable filter. We've been having to service that. It started out at basically every 40 miles. Now we're up to maybe almost 100 miles before it starts really, and we were also having to play with the fuel injection and do some tuning that I wouldn't probably tell people how to do, because if you have that issue, then you probably shouldn't be trying to limp it like we are.
Yeah. But, that's one of the things you learned about this, the FI-Tech thing. With the original tanks, the problem we had was a restriction, a flow restriction from the fuel supply. The fuel injection does not understand that they have restricted flow. Okay? We had that thing on vacuum and AFR. What was that other one we were watching on the FI-Tech?
How much it was learning.
Learning. So, you could see when the filter started to clog because all the numbers were starting to change. And that was, time to pull over. I think even more important, we've been talking about this, even more important than the force fuel is good flow.
Yeah, good flow is definitely what's necessary.
A fuel tank, a single cavity where the fuel comes out and goes back in the same cavity. You don't have all this problem with, like right now, the first thing we thought that we were putting back in the front tank, pulling out of the rear tank. We thought we were driving the rear tank empty. Yes. It wasn't replacing.
Yeah, and we probably were for a while, and that was one of the issues. We were probably sucking air bubbles, cavitating the pump.
So we changed the return and went to the
we tied into the drain with the return, so it was going back there. But then that also probably kind of pressure washed the ceiling of the fuel tank, which probably had a lot of stuff on it. So
broke the stalactites out.
Probably going to be a real nice clean tank after the end of this, but
I don't know.
I don't know if it's worth the 50 filter changes.
We're taking the one good thing is we're taking the one of the new fuel tanks to Chad, and he'll have 2 tanks, so I'll be able to look at 4 tanks and maybe get 2 out of 4 before I make the trip back. But it's been a very, very interesting trip. We've learned a lot. We learned a lot about FI-Tech. I think I have. Jason's been doing a lot of tuning on them, and I haven't had much experience at watching what's going on. But on the fly is the way to learn that stuff, and it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, and when you understand what those numbers are saying, it was kind of fun. To know when we're going to be ready to die. I mean, to anticipate death. How many people can do that?
Did you install the ball valve in front of the filter where you could turn the fuel off to take it off?
Correct. Yeah. So we were doing so many filter changes and we were kind of short on hose anyway. So we had a 3/8 barb ball valve that we had brought along. I don't remember what we were going to use it for, and we ended up putting that in before that little pre-filter so that I can shut the fuel flow off, service it without it siphoning fuel out of the tank. And because we were also
quick change.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fuel clamp off and stuff.
And I got to tell you, I'll do a picture of it. It kind of looks cool. It kind of matches the motorhome having a ball valve and some hoses hanging out the bottom. Kind of cool looking. I like it.
Remember to open it back up before you try to drive off.
Yeah, it won't go anywhere. Yeah, yesterday we were limping in, and Larry here. I've known Larry. Larry, my motorhome. Larry found it at the Postal Service in Denver, and got it to me, and also the Tin Soldier.
Yeah.
We found the Tin Soldier in a junkyard.
Well, I was on the side of the interstate with the big.
Pull that over there.
I found it on the side of the interstate because it kept running out of fuel. That the gentleman who bought it at an auction, and he'd get 10 miles and it would be out of fuel, and he'd add fuel, and it was fine. But when he went to make a left turn, he didn't notice that it poured out the side of the tank, and 2 or 3 left turns, he was out of fuel.
Well, no, Larry's been a good friend, and we met up at Outback for some lunch. We were going to be close. About the time we pulled in, we found that there were a few things we needed, so he graciously offered to put us up for the night and let us use his shop.
Beautiful shop.
Yeah, man, this is the way to do it. Yeah, this is Larry's motorhome. We painted it. Walter DeAndrea painted that. Look him up. Really a high-class painter. And how long have you had this thing, Larry?
I purchased this in 1999.
99.
And it's been a great coach. Other than the paint job and building a transmission, which Manny Trevello did, I've rebuilt every system on it.
You put a frame under it.
I put a new frame under this thing, and
Holy
all
moly.
by myself.
You're a steely-eyed missile, man. Well, thank you, Larry, for letting us come. I hope the oil drips from JG will clean up. We do
put pans down.
He put pans down, Hey, man, we're coming in. We got an oil slick coming in.
I don't know if they make a pan big enough to catch all the leaks under this thing.
Yeah, but I got to find a whole gallon of oil, so I think we'll make it. All we got is 8 hours, 8 hours. That's like going from Orlando to Tallahassee. I mean, I can handle that. I can visualize that. The visualize was leaving Nashville at 23-hour trip. You can't visualize something like that. It
was an adventure for sure.
Yeah. Yesterday was kind of crazy. We were all kind of getting punchy, the shower, and then Larry reminded us, we got to drink water. We're losing it.
These gentlemen don't realize that they have coming up one of the most beautiful drives in Colorado and Wyoming, but that drive has many miles of nothing but miles and miles.
Oh, man.
Unlike most of the East and West Coast, that you have little towns every 10 miles, you can go 40 and 50 miles and not have anything but sagebrush.
Wow. Well, I hope we're ready for that. That's one of the things we didn't hear the fan clutch, and we got a little bit of water temp spike, so I figured we were going to put a new fan clutch in it. I went for the fan clutch. And we found out that we used a little bit of oil. So we had to put in 4 quarts. Yeah. But yeah, we'll be checking the dipstick here soon. Often, about as often as we'll be changing the filter, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is the last leg of it. We're on the way to Bonneville High School. And you guys,
Nothing like it.
Thanks for coming on the journey.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. And we'll be there soon. And then the fun begins. All right. Listen, hit like over on YouTube. That's how we're going to pay the bills. And Patreon, stay with us. I can't tell you I'll be doing a lot of videos. Maybe, we'll do a little bit like this. But after 20 years of doing the daily pose, I got pretty good at pictures and misspelling stuff. So I may go, fall back on that for a while. But so here we go, guys. Drink your water.